In the summer of 2022, universities and colleges across China produced more than 10 million graduates, the highest number in decades. Now, half a year after their graduation, many of them are well on track in their careers, despite the inevitable disruptions caused to the economy and their lives by the COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, these graduates have brought a new dynamic to the country and the economy with their youthful energy, hard work and creativity. Among them is one young man called Chen Han, who has been working on an intercity metro project in eastern China since July 2022.
I am not as relaxed as when I was a university student. As an intern technician working on an infrastructure project, I have to be meticulous. I can't afford to be careless or sloppy. One minor oversight may lead to grave consequences.
Chen was infected with the coronavirus in late December amid a surge of COVID-19 cases in China. Wasting no time to improve himself and build infrastructure for the economy's future, he returned to work soon after his recovery, just as many other fearless and resilient Chinese did.
Before I was infected with the virus, I felt a little bit afraid. But I began to feel relieved after I heard that some of my relatives and friends who got infected before me were okay. So when I myself was infected, I was not afraid.
In this edition of Footprints, we will take a look at how this young graduate has beaten the various odds in the very early days of his career, especially the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Stay tuned. This is a construction site in the city of Chuzhou, eastern China's Anhui province. Workers here are building a 54-kilometer-long metro line connecting Chuzhou with the city of Nanjing, a regional economic hub in eastern China. A tall, sturdy young man with a pair of glasses catches our attention. Wearing a heavy overcoat in the wintry weather, he is interacting with the workers, explaining to them some engineering requirements. His name is Chen Han, a 23-year-old intern technician. Only about 6 months into his job, he still exhibits some traces of a university student, a boyish face, curious eyes, and sharp directness in his interaction with others. Chen only graduated in June 2022 after 4 years studying architecture at the Anhui University of Science and Technology. Upon his graduation, he found a job with the China Railway No. 4 Engineering Group, which is headquartered in the city of Hefei and undertakes many infrastructure projects across China. On July 4, 2022, he underwent a 10-day training session together with another 100-plus new recruits of the company. After that, he was deployed to the construction site where he works now, at the Chuzhou-Nanjing Intercity Metro project.
I set off from Hefei, which is also my hometown. I happened to take the same train with a veteran colleague who was heading back to the construction site from a business trip in Hefei. So he was a guide for me on the road, which dispelled my sense of unease as a new recruit.
As the young graduate arrived at the site on July 14, 2022, he was impressed by what he saw.
There were 3 new recruits assigned to the construction site. We were each assigned to a tutor. My tutor took me around the site and explained to me how to be a frontline technician. Everything was new for me as I first toured the site. Before that, I seldom visited a construction site. So I was very curious about what I would see on that day.
Although Chen was a student of architecture, he got few opportunities to visit construction sites as his college years coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic. His university, as with many other universities in China, often adopted strict anti-pandemic lockdowns and, for the past 3 years, offered their classes online. Embarking on his new journey as an intern technician, the young man soon got a taste of the harshness of the job.
It was July, and I was observing and learning how to pour concrete one day, from 7 in the morning until 7 in the evening, excluding a lunch break. I stood under the scorching sun to observe the process. On the second day, I found my neck got burned by the sun, with my skin peeling off.
This difficulty didn't make him shy away, as he made up his mind to take each opportunity to learn the practical skills.
In the very beginning, I felt stressed as I could finish few jobs on my own. In order to quickly master the practical skills, I tried my best to learn from my tutor and do as many things as possible.
The hard-working young man has been making steady progress. About 6 months into his job, he can now independently operate many engineering instruments such as the gradienter and real-time kinematic, a surveying system used to improve positioning data for construction designs. Meanwhile, he has become skilled in the often banal and tedious work of recording, keeping and sorting various technical data and documents related to the project. In his daily work, Chen Han also needs to learn how to convey technical requirements to the average manual workers on the project, many of whom are farmers turned migrants who have not had the benefit of a good education. Chen is very young and inexperienced in the eyes of many of those workers. As a result, the young man had a difficult time interacting with them initially.
When I had to tell them to change something in their work, I often met with resistance. But according to technical and engineering requirements, I had to ask them to make changes. When they didn't listen to me, I would just seek help from the head worker at the spot. At first, I felt frustrated at this situation. Later, I learned to live with it and try to win trust from the workers.
From learning to do practical engineering work to adjusting himself to the new working environment, Chen has been transforming fast from a university student to a hard-working and fledgling technician.
I am not as relaxed as when I was a university student. As an intern technician working on an infrastructure project, I have to be meticulous. I can't afford to be careless or sloppy. One minor oversight may lead to grave consequences.
Dangers are everywhere on a construction site. He's had to learn this the hard way. Once he trod on some steel nails and had to get vaccinated against tetanus as a result. Although work on the construction site is often tough and dangerous, Chen has found opportunities to relax and have fun. In their spare time, he and his colleagues play basketball in a nearby basketball court. But in late December 2022, the fast-growing and sporty young technician faced another challenge. He was infected with the coronavirus. His infection came as the virus swept across many parts of China after Chinese authorities optimized the COVID-19 policies in early December, easing some of the previously strict control measures. Chen recalls he first developed COVID-19 symptoms on December the 21st when he was back in his hometown, Hefei, on a business trip. Feeling unwell, he immediately went into quarantine at home.
At night, when I lay in bed, my throat hurt extremely. It felt like there is a knife cutting the inside of my throat. When I got up the next day, I had a high fever. Then my whole body ached, especially my waist and back.
He took some pills to dampen his high fever and quell his throat aches, which he describes as unbearable. About 4 days later, most of his symptoms subsided. 1 week later, feeling recovered, Chen took a train back to his workplace. In retrospect, the young man says he has learned how to live with COVID-19.
没感染的时候有一点怕吧，因为毕竟刚开始搞这个新冠。
Before I was infected with the virus, I felt a little bit afraid. You know, the virus killed many people when it first hit the world. But I began to feel relieved after I heard that some of my relatives and friends who got infected before me were okay. So when I myself was infected, I was not afraid. I told myself that I could get good treatment at hospital even if I developed serious symptoms.
Chen adds that his parents and most of his colleagues have been infected and recovered mostly within a week. Having successfully battled the infectious disease, Chen notes it has given his colleagues and friends confidence in getting their work and life back to normal in the coming months. For himself, physical health and progress in his work are what he wishes for the year of 2023.
更多的学习现场的技术管理嘛，可以独当一面。
I will continue to learn more frontline technical and managerial skills. In short, I hope I can soon work independently as a technician. In terms of New Year wishes, I hope my family, relatives, friends, and myself can have good health and be safe and sound in 2023.
The Zhuzhou-Nanjing Intercity Metro line is scheduled to go into service in July 2023, around the same time when Chen Han will officially become an independent technician after a one-year internship. While taking pride in his work on this metro project, Chen says he is always ready to head to the next one.
我很光荣啊，就是建这个城际铁路的建设、国家建设、基建。
It's my great honor to have participated in the construction of this important infrastructure project. I told my parents that I would find an opportunity to ride this metro line as a way of paying tribute to this project and the days I worked on it.
With that, we conclude this edition of Footprints. Thanks for listening. I'm Bob Jones. If you're interested in hearing more about the lives of ordinary people in China, follow us on Apple Podcasts or any of your favorite podcast platforms. Just key in Footprints and you can find more stories anytime, anywhere. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.